SkyNews.com.au is reporting that King Charles is furious with Keir Starmer after Keir Starmer joined calls for Andrew to testify to Congress. Look, the Andrew allegations are incredibly damaging to the royal family. They are. But Keir Starmer, I suppose he's really put in his place when you look at the pecking order of importance in the UK. Esther, what do you make of this story?
I mean, he made a statement about Prince Andrew having to go to the US to testify before Congress, just as he was getting off a plane from China. So his excuse is that, he's been insulated for the last 4 days. Remember his trip to China, this country that we should be having closer ties with, that he trusts so much. Him and his entire team had to take burner phones and laptops because they were scared of being spied upon. But he made this remark that infuriated the king off the cuff because he hadn't actually consulted the palace. And while the Buckingham Palace has tried to do what it can do to minimize the furore around Prince Andrew and his association, or the prince formerly known as Andrew, and his association with Jeffrey Epstein, this has been very much a coordinated effort between Buckingham Palace and number 10 Downing Street. And so for Keir Starmer to go off the record and say, Prince Andrew should go to the US to testify before Congress, well, first of all, he can't be compelled to do so, which is actually what Keir Starmer said a few months before. And secondly, it's completely inappropriate for him to do that and to basically take a decision on behalf of the royal family without the king's explicit permission. You have to remember that it's King Charles that basically saved his relationship with Donald Trump. Without the royal family, Donald Trump doesn't have time for Keir Starmer, and certainly not Peter Mandelson, who was not highly regarded amongst sort of Republican top brass. So this is something that he will regret, and I'm sure the king will take him to task on that. But just even raising that and giving it life, and having Lib Dem politicians say, yes, actually, he should go to America, is going to put a lot of pressure on Buckingham Palace that they really don't need at the moment. Already, they had to smuggle Prince Andrew out of his home under the cover of darkness because they're so embarrassed by him. I'm sure at some point they'll say they're going to ship him to a village in India or something just to really get rid of him. But it's not helpful for the royal family to have these interventions by a prime minister who's basically a dead man walking.
Well, finally, I have to talk to you about the Beckhams. It appears an Oprah Winfrey sit-down interview could possibly be on the cards for Brooklyn Beckham, following reports that Meghan Markle has been offering herself as a mentor following this family breakup bombshell. The 26-year-old has apparently been receiving support from the Duchess of Sussex since he posted on Instagram about his family and the breakdown. Esther, is this a good idea for Brooklyn Beckham to be getting advice from Meghan Markle?
Well, obviously not. And, usually these kinds of insider scoops are usually quite dubious at the best of times. However, there is a form for this to actually have some credibility. We do remember that the Beckhams were actually at Prince Harry and Meghan's wedding.